Hi there, my name's Ruth from Gothic Decay and I make pieces of work that look like this. As you can see, it's all covered in beads and wools and all kinds of bits of techniques and fabrics and things, and I just want you to know that these are all upcycled and none of it is bought new. So everything here has been found somewhere or other. I mean, we've got bits of necklaces, bits of this is a scarf that I unravelled. I'll show you some of this later, but all the pieces of fabric are reclaimed from my local charity shop, and just to show you that this is the kind of thing that you can produce with it. So I'll show you some little things that I've managed to find. Basically, this is the kind of background that I start with, and as you can see, it's all patched pieces of different fabrics. So I hunt through my charity shop for things that are well, basically, if I've worked in a charity shop, and in the one I've worked in, the items that aren't saleable would tend to go off to a different place, always known as the rag man, and he comes to take away all the things that aren't saleable. But he does give you some money for it, but not very much. So it's quite useful to be able to just pull out some of these pieces and put some money into the charity box, and everybody wins them. So here's all kinds of different pieces of fabric, lots of. I think this is one that my sister had used to mop up her cutting board. So there's all kinds of bits in there, but I'll show you the kind of things that we find. Starting with even this. This is my ironing board, and this is just a big piece of fabric, a bit scrubbly around the edges because it's been travelling with me for many years. But yeah, even my ironing board comes from a charity shop. So we have things like pillowcases. See, this is a bit yellow, so it would never go into the actually out to the charity shop. So, but you can use all of the pretty edging. You can chop up all of this because it's a nice cottony fabric. So that's perfect for this kind of work because it will dyes nicely. Don't forget the weird little scribbly bits on the edge. You might not want to use them, but you know, there are options there for you. This is the rest of the duvet. Duvets are brilliant for backing fabrics. Just miles and miles of whatever you want to do with it kind of fabric. So again, people don't often want to buy duvets from charity shops, especially if they're a little bit grey, but you can just take them home, bung them in the washing machine, and they make perfect backgrounds. So that's that. Not forgetting, of course, that the clothes. Sometimes you get clothes that come into the charity shop and they just don't sell, and you try and reduce them and they still don't sell. So this is a pair of sort of linen, well, they're part linen trousers. So I've just chopped the legs off because you get quite a surprising amount of fabric in here, and you can just chop them into pieces and patch them into your work. They dye nicely, just perfect. So this is another example of something I found. It's quite a pretty blouse, but I think it's got a hole in it somewhere if I remember rightly, but it's lovely for its fabric. So volunteer in your local charity shop and all these kind of things can be yours. But you can see there's lots of lovely sequins and bits of embroidery and things that you could use. You could just cover a piece of work that's got a bit excitably coloured. You can just put a piece of this over the top just to sort of mute it all down a little bit. You can chop it with a soldering iron and pull out little pieces of it and use those for your work. So that's very useful stuff. Same, we've got a kind of, I think, well, I don't quite know what that is, but sort of velvety thing. Now, unfortunately, this is a bit small for me. Nice little princess dress. But again, lovely fabrics to be used. All the sequins and bits of roses if you want to. All of these outside-y fabrics, satiny stuff if you want to. But it's all just stuff that's going in the bin because unfortunately we can't sell things like that anymore in the charity shop. Cushion covers all covered in sequins and things. You can pull all of these off, have plenty of fun with that. The scarves with holes in, this kind of thing. So even if this was going out for full price, it wouldn't be very expensive, so you can just pillage your local shop for goodies. It's great fun. Again, millions of sequins on here, quite small ones those, and quite sort of almost like pewtery colours, so they're quite nice. And the ultimate, sorry for the noise, I can't show you all of this because it's just massive, but this was a like a dressing up cape that was brought in, and it is enormous, and there is so much fabric in this, it is untrue, but we couldn't sell it nobody wanted it for some reason, so we shall just chop it up and turn it into lovely embroideries. I've got some more goodies for you. Here's just a black linen shirt that, as you can see, is missing rather large sections of its back now because I've been using it for all manner of things. Some charity shops have a sort of what I call a crafty corner. So some pieces of lovely linen like that will happily live in there. And this is not sponsored, by the way, but this is from a place in Hereford called Rose Tinted Rags, and they sell all kinds of weird and wonderful bits of reclaimed fabrics and threads and all manner of things. And so these are all lovely small pieces of net, but they're really quite handy for sewing into things. So those are very handy. Let's pop those away so I make the noise. Then threads. Sometimes you'll find truly horrible cross-stitch kits that you think no one's ever going to buy those, and you put them out for a little while and funnily enough nobody does. But however, you do get rather large lovely quantities of embroidery thread from them. Perfect. If you like that. This is a little needle felting, I think, kit that I found. Very handy. Don't forget also things that you find as you walk along. This is a piece of ribbon and a piece of rather nice string that I found on my wander. Crafty Corner also came up with a light bulb, which I haven't quite tested yet, but you know, you never know quite what you're going to find. Then threads. Again, more of the threads that come from nasty kits. All the lovely wools that come in and get donated. There are ribbons, invisible threads, all of these, not these, but all of these cottons, all of these lovely things, sort of ribbons of sequins, all kinds of fun things that come in. More of them here. So these I bought second-hand on eBay, these man-made machine embroidery threads. But all of these, charity shop, marvellous. Gotta love them. Oops. Not much more, honestly. This is the stuff I was telling you about before. I know it is builder's scrim, but you might know it as something else. I asked my other half to go and find a roll of it in Southern Ireland, where he was visiting his parents. And he was looking at them and said, you know, because he knows how much I like them. And the chap said, you can just have this one because it's damaged. I don't know if you can see there, it's all sort of dyed a different colour in that bit. I was like, brilliant, that actually makes it better. So, hurrah. There we have a few little bits and bobs here. All of these lovely wires all came in a little pot. This lovely copper pipes, looking skips as well. Obviously ask permission if you're going to take bits out of them. Beads, necklaces, all that kind of thing. So my local charity shop chops up a lot of its necklaces and just packages them up like this for sort of, 20 pence kind of thing. Brilliant. Lots of lovely wires. This is double-sided tape. Perfect. What can you do? Sometimes you get stamps. That's upside down. And stencils. And inks. These ones I bought on eBay, but that's still all second-hand goodies. If you more jewellery and bits and bobs and things, and beads, all ribbons that come on birthday presents, that kind of thing. Sometimes if you look on eBay, you'll find people that instead of selling the actual dies and stamps to make these things, they sell the sort of chopped out versions of them, and those can be quite useful. So instead of buying all of these dies and then not quite knowing what to do with them again, you've got a little selection of all kinds of things that someone's made for you. We've got chalk, what are these things called? Embossing folders, that's them, all from the charity shop. And then don't forget the things that you find as you're walking around. Pop these over here. Now I'm lucky enough to live in Swansea by the sea, so I can find all of these lovely things on the beach, so that's great. You can all add in these into embroidery. Then all the sort of washers and bits of rusty things that you can find, they all come in handy. Pieces of metal, you can use that to hang your embroideries from. Same with the driftwood if you want to. This is a plastic cutout from a thing that James got as part of the new Final Fantasy game. Don't quite understand, but that's what that was. Bits of lovely rusty things that you can find by the sea. Papers that you can find on the floor or just whatever. Make them yourself. All useful things. I think that's most of what I was going to show you. But yeah, just as a little bit of inspiration while we're all tucked in away at home, that you can get all kinds of fun things from your charity shops when we're finally allowed out to go and get them. But just keep an eye out for all kinds of things as you walk around the streets and, you know, all around your house. So we don't have to spend a fortune on craftables, but we can all still have fun with them. So thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. And if you would like to visit my website, gothicdecay.com, you'll see all the kind of work that I do. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.